Hi, Emily. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Emily, how old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
And what are you currently doing?
I am testifying in a murder trial.
Currently, what are you doing? School, work?
Oh, sorry. I am attending Bentley University.
Where's that located?
Waltham.
And what is your major?
I am a marketing major.
What are you doing for the summer?
I am doing an internship in, I think, Berlin or somewhere in Connecticut.
Okay.
I'm sports management.
You a little nervous today?
A little.
Do you recall us meeting before today's date?
Yes.
And what was the purpose of that meeting?
Was to talk about the trial.
Did I tell you to just tell us the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Did I tell you what to say?
No.
Emily, what high school did you attend?
I went to St. Joseph High School.
I'm going to direct your attention to May of 2022. What year were you at St. Joe's?
A junior.
Did you play any sports at St. Joe's?
Yes, I played girls soccer and girls lacrosse.
And in May of 2022, were you on the girls lacrosse team?
Yes.
I'm going to direct your attention specifically to May 14th of 2022. Do you recall that day?
Yes.
And why do you specifically recall that day?
There was a little get together for the girls lacrosse team.
And when you say a little get together, do you mean a party or something more?
Yes, it was a little party.
And where was that party located?
Lazy Brook in Shelton.
And what was at Lazy Brook in Shelton? Whose residence was that?
It was Madigan Lifer's house, a girl on the girls lacrosse team.
Do you recall the address by any chance?
5 Lazy Brook Road.
And do you recall how you got to that get together?
I drove.
I'm going to direct your attention to 5 Lazy Brook. What time did you arrive at that location?
I'm not too sure. Sometime around 5-ish.
And when you got to the party, what was going on?
Nothing really. It was more just like everyone was hanging out in the basement.
Approximately how many people were at this party?
Around 20-ish.
At some point as the night progressed, did the party get bigger?
Yes.
How large would you say it got? How many people would you say were there later on in the night?
I can't really recall.
In attendance at the party, was it just St. Joe's girls lacrosse players, or were there other individuals there?
There was more St. Joe's kids and some other kids from Shelton.
And when you say some other kids from Shelton, how many other kids from Shelton were there?
I'm not completely sure the exact number, but I do know that there was 2.
In addition to, you said some of the girls lacrosse players, you indicated 2 Shelton High School students. Was there anyone else that was there that was not invited?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. I'm going to strike the answer. Thank you. Just disregard it. It's not part of the evidence.
Emily, are you familiar with Tyler Da Silva?
Yes.
Are you also familiar with an individual by the name of Jack Snyder?
Yes.
And what about an individual by the name of Raul Valle?
Yes.
How are you familiar with those individuals?
I was in their grade at school. I had classes with, but that's pretty much where it ended.
Did you hang out with their friends at group gatherings at all?
No, not usually, no.
If you were to see them, for instance, out, would you recognize them?
Yeah.
From those 3 individuals, do you recognize any of those individuals here today in court?
Yes.
Who do you recognize?
Lido.
When you say Lido, does that person go by a different name?
Yes.
And what name does that person go by?
Raul.
So you know that person, Raul, as Lido as well.
Yes.
Can you please point him out and just describe what he's wearing?
A black suit with a black tie.
As I refer to Lido or Raul as you know him, I'm also going to refer to him as a defendant. It's the same person. Emily, at some point when you were at the party, did something occur between the St. Joe's 3 individuals that you just indicated, as well as the Shelton High School students?
Yes.
And what happened?
There was a fight.
Were you present when that fight took place?
Yes.
When you say present, how close to the fight were you?
I was very close. I was trying to break it up.
Before we proceed, I am going to show you what's been marked as case exhibit number 53. Emily, you have a screen in front of you here.
Yes.
Looking at case 53, do you recognize the individual in this photograph?
Yes.
And who are those individuals?
Jack Snyder in the red and Lido.
And looking at case 53, do you remember Lido, as you just indicated, wearing that helmet as well as the pillow around his neck?
Yes.
In your recollection from that night at the party, do you recall if the defendant showed up wearing this helmet and the pillow, or did he retrieve it at the party?
He got it at the party.
Do you recall whose helmet that is that he's wearing?
I do not know exactly.
When the fight broke out that you observed, do you recall if the defendant was wearing that helmet during the fight?
He was.
Directing your attention back to the party that night, what was happening at the party? Was there drinking going on? Were there games being played? Explain.
Yes, there was drinking going on, and there was some games being played like beer pong and other drinking games.
What type of alcohol was being consumed, if you recall?
Mostly beer and some alcoholic like seltzers.
Had you been drinking?
Yes.
How many alcoholic beverages had you consumed?
I don't remember.
Had you been drinking to the point where you were drunk, not able to stand, or?
No.
And you indicated you had driven to the party that night?
Yes.
Did you observe Lido or Raul drinking that night?
Yes.
And looking at case 53, do you see the blue liquid that the defendant is holding in his hand there?
Yes.
Do you recall what that is? Do you know what that is? Now, the individuals that arrived from Shelton High School, as you indicated, do you know the names of those individuals?
I did not at the time, but I did later learn that it was Griffin and Ryan.
And when you say later on, did you have interactions with them?
Yes. After the fight, one of my friends drove them away.
And is that when you learned their names?
Yes, yeah, in the car.
When, as you indicated, Ryan and Griffin arrived at 5 Lazy Brook, if you can recall, or if you observed, how did the defendant, Jack, and Tyler De Silva react?
They did not want
And how do you know that? What were they doing without going into what they were saying? How were they observed?
trying to kick them out.
Would you say it was a bit of a hostile interaction?
Yeah,
At some point, you indicated a fight broke out. Do you recall what that fight was over?
it was over like a little case of beer.
And when you say it was over a little case of beer, explain.
The Lido and like the others had taken it from them and wanted them to leave. And Ryan wanted the beer back and then he would leave. But so that's why they fought over the alcohol.
Were you standing there were you observing this? You were observing the beer being taken and then Ryan wanting that beer back?
Yes.
To your knowledge, did the boys from St. Joe's give the beer back to Ryan at that point?
No.
And because the beer was not given back, what occurred?
That's when the fight broke out.
And when you say a fight broke out, you indicated you observed the fight. To your recollection, explain what you observed when the fight happened.
I saw Lido punch Ryan from behind, and then that's when everyone started fighting.
When you say everyone, who else was fighting?
Jack, Tyler, and Lido.
Obviously, from stage 53, you can see here, you indicated Jack is wearing the red sweatshirt, Lido is wearing the blue shirt. What was Tyler wearing that night, if you can recall?
A light blue jersey.
You had said that you were saying certain things during the fight when it was going on.
Yes.
What were you saying?
Trying to break it up.
Were you successful in breaking up the fight?
No, not really.
In addition to, as you said, you observed Lido hit someone in the back of the head.
Yes.
Did you observe the defendant doing anything else during that fight?
Near the end of the fight, he headbutted Ryan, who was on the ground with the helmet on.
So when you say headbutted, explain to the members of the jury what you mean by that.
He took his head and to the ground, dived with his head into Ryan, who was on the ground.
Now, Emily, from your description, it sounds like the defendant had kept the helmet on as he was
Yes.
using it on Ryan. Is that accurate?
Yes.
So at any point did he take that helmet off when he was doing that?
No,
Did you observe him headbutt Ryan once or more than once?
I only remember once.
Do you remember seeing that video?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall who took that video?
Bella Molnar.
I'm sorry.
Bella Molnar.
Okay. Do you know Bella Molnar?
Yes, we were in the same grade.
So she was a friend of yours?
Yes.
Okay. So looking at stage 58, if you can point out who was in the red sweatshirt there.
That was Jack Snyder.
Okay. And over to the left-hand side of Jack there in the blue jersey, who is that?
That was Tyler.
And over to the right-hand side of Jack in the greenish colored sweatshirt, who is that?
That was Ryan.
Do you see yourself anywhere in this video at this point?
I'm on like the far right. I don't think you can really see me yet.
Rewind it. Do you see yourself here?
Yeah, I'm in the white shirt.
Okay, and so towards the back side of the video?
Yes, not the far right, but just over from the person on the far right.
So, Emily, you saw yourself walking towards the fight. Is that you
Yes,
in state 58? What are you doing at that point?
I'm trying to break it up, like push people away.
What did you do to break it up? What did you physically do?
I was trying to like push like people with like my hands.
So you had hands on people?
Yes.
Were you successful in getting anyone off anyone at all?
No.
How close were you to the fight when you observed the defendant headbutt Ryan?
A foot or two.
After he headbutted, what occurred after that?
Then the fight pretty much subsided.
After the fight had ended, is it fair to say that the party kind of dissipated at that point?
Yes.
And how did the party dissipate?
People were just starting to like be kicked out basically.
Who kicked them out?
I think the parents, but I'm not completely sure.
Did you leave the party at that point?
Yes.
How did you leave?
I left in a Jeep though.
So you had indicated earlier that you had driven to the party.
Yes.
Did you leave your car?
Yes.
Why did you go in the Jeep with your friends?
We were taking Ryan and Griffin away to wherever they needed to go.
Did you have an opportunity to observe any injuries on Ryan Hines?
Yes.
And what did you observe on him?
His mouth was bleeding and his nose was bleeding.
Whose Jeep was it that you got into?
I believe that it was my friend Izzy's.
Where did Izzy go to after you left the party?
After she was driving us.
Yep.
I think we went back to my house after the night was over.
Did she drop off Ryan?
Yes.
Do you recall where she dropped them off?
I do not remember.
Was it just you, Ryan, Griffin, and Izzy in the vehicle? Were there other individuals in the?
There were other people.
What do you recognize that photograph as?
It was a picture that we took on top of the Jeep.
Do you recall who took this photograph?
It was me.
It was you, and it was a selfie.
Yes.
And was this photograph taken after the fight had broken up and before you left the party?
Yes.
Or Izzy?
This was still on Lazy Brook Street.
Emily, do you recognize these individuals in this photograph?
Yes.
This individual right here, who's that?
That's me.
And the individual back here, who's this?
That's right.
And the individual back here, who's that?
That's Griffin.
The person who drove the Jeep, Izzy, where is she in this photograph?
The far left.
Far left. So over here?
Even more like near the bottom left of the picture.
Okay.
Yes.
How soon after you took this photograph did you leave the party?
I believe right away, but I can't be sure.
Other than what you testified here to today, is there anything else that you can recall from that party regarding the fight that broke out at 5 Lazy Brook?
No, I cannot.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
How are you, Ms. Robinson?
Good, how are you?
So just want to ask you a few questions. You have described yourself as being in the bottom right-hand corner, correct?
Yes.
And in your hand, is this one of those hard seltzers you described?
Yes.
Is that also seen in your hand when you are trying to break up the fight?
Yes.
And who is this person that is directly behind you wearing the green shirt and putting her tongue out?
Maeve.
Maeve?
Yes.
Does she go to St. Joseph?
Yes.
And you said behind Maeve is Ryan Hines, correct?
Yes.
And who is directly to Ryan Hines's right wearing a blue hat?
Casey.
Casey. Is that also a St. Joe's, or was that a St. Joe's?
Yes.
Casey, is she holding a beer?
Yes.
And behind Casey, is that Griffin Marcinzik?
Yes.
Did you know Griffin Marcinzik prior to this?
No.
Did you know Ryan?
No.
And right beside Casey, in a white top with longer hair, who is that?
Katie.
And directly in front of Katie and Casey, thank you, face of some sort, who is that? Also St. Joe's?
Yes.
And then this person directly beside her, you described that as being the driver, correct?
Yes.
That's Izzy?
Yes.
And Izzy was also a student at St. Joe's.
Yes.
Were all of those folks drinking during the course of the party?
Not Izzy.
Not Izzy, because Izzy's driving.
Yes.
You at least didn't see Izzy drinking, is that fair to say?
No, she did. She was known to not drink.
So you didn't see her drink that night?
Yes.
You described the fight that broke out. You said that the defendant punched Ryan Hines from behind, correct?
Yes.
You watched that video with us there of the fight that
Yes.
Ms. Molnar recorded. Did that capture the initial breakout of the fight?
Yes, that was the start of it.
It didn't capture, however, Mr. Snyder and Mr. Hines having a discussion about fighting for the beer, right?
Yes.
Because there was a point where Mr. Snyder asked Ryan if he wanted to fight for the beer, right?
Yes.
But we don't see that on that video, is that fair to say? But we do see them squaring up, and then we see Mr. Hines backing up a little bit, right?
Yes.
And he backs up into Mr. Valle, right?
I would say I can't tell from the video.
You weren't paying attention to that when it happened?
I guess no.
What were you focused on when the fight broke out?
I was just watching it all go down.
You didn't know Mr. Hines at that point?
No, I did not.
Would you say you were more focused on the St. Joe's kids that you did know, or on the kids that you didn't know?
I wasn't focused on one in particular.
And you watched that video with us, and you tried to break it up, and you saw yourself in that video, correct?
Yes.
You're holding on to that seltzer that you've got in the picture later.
Yes.
And the fight sort of tumbles forward, right?
Yes.
Behind a vehicle that's there.
Yes.
That wasn't the Jeep that you've described as driving away in. Do you know whose vehicle that was?
That was my car.
That was your car that we see them go behind.
Yes.
Were you worried about your car getting damaged at all in the course of this fight? How close were they to your car? Were they bumping up against it?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
At some point, you said you got actually into the fight close enough that you were touching some of these people, correct?
Yes.
How many people were involved at that point?
I can't remember exactly, like the exact amount.
Were you the only person that was trying to break it up?
I believe so.
There weren't any other people that were involved trying to break up the fight?
I can't remember.
You don't recall Mr. Valle taking off the helmet, correct?
No, I do not.
Involved in this fight, there were at least Mr. Valle, Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. De Silva, Mr. Hines.
Yes.
You yourself were involved as far as getting over there and putting hands and trying to break it up. You think it was just the five of you?
That's all I can really remember.
Where was Mr. Marcinzik at this time?
I do not remember.
Do you know where any of these other people were that were in the Jeep with you?
No, I do not remember.
It was chaotic, correct?
Yes.
You were focused on trying to break up the fight. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
You've described not seeing Mr. Valle take off the helmet, correct?
Yes.
But you say that he headbutted Mr. Hines, correct?
Yes.
And that he dive bombed him with his head, correct?
Yes.
Could you see what was at Mr. Valle's feet at that point?
I do not.
Could you tell whether or not he tripped?
No.
Could you see if anybody laid their hands on him and pulled him?
No, I do not remember.
You weren't focused on that, right?
No.
Who were you touching with your hands when you were trying to pull somebody apart?
I believe it was Tyler's.
You ever been involved in a fight before?
No.
Was it scary?
Yes.
Was it dark?
A little, but there was lights from the garage.
Was it as light as it appears in the video that's been lightened?
I do not remember.
To your recollection, which of those more accurately reflects what you recall? The lightened video or the darker video?
I would say
The lightened video is more
Yes.
what you recall.
Yeah.
When did you first learn about the video that Ms. Molnar took? Did she show it to you?
no.
Who showed it to you?
I think it was on on a story on my
It was on a story on your phone?
yes.
Can you educate me a little bit? When you say on a story, what do you mean?
Like Snapchat. Someone posted it on their story on Snapchat.
All right, I'm going to show my age yet again. On your Snapchat, you posted a story. Can you describe for me what that is if I'm somebody who doesn't know?
Someone else had taken a video and posted it so that other people who they have chosen could see it.
Do you remember who that was?
I would believe it's Bella, but I can't remember.
So Bella posted that video on her story on her Instagram,
On Snapchat. I believe it was Bella.
Snapchat. Snapchat, is that the app that allows you to message, but the messages disappear?
Yes.
So how were you able to view this on her Snapchat?
She posted it so that other people could see it. And then you can watch it for like a certain amount of time. It's like 24 hours and then it goes away.
And how soon after the fight do you recall her posting that?
I do not recall.
Same day?
I believe so, but I don't remember.
So you had seen this video prior to speaking with officers on May 26th.
Yes.
Did you tell them about the existence of the video?
I do not remember.
Did you tell these officers about drinking that had been going on at the party?
Yes.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Emily, counsel just asked you on cross-examination if you had seen anyone trip Lido. Do you recall seeing that at all?
No.
Do you recall seeing anyone push Lido?
No.
And what I mean by that is when he headbutted Ryan, was there anything at all other than him lowering his head and putting it on Ryan that you observed?
No.
There's no one else around. You didn't see anything else other than what you just testified to.
No.
Thank you. I've no.
You just told us that you didn't see anyone trip or push the defendant, correct?
Yes.
You told us that night you had your hands on Mr. De Silva, correct?
Yes.
Was your focus on what Mr. Valle was doing at that point?
It was more on the whole fight itself.
How many times have you seen that video that we've just watched?
A handful of times, maybe 10. I'm not sure the exact amount.
And what effect do you think watching that video 10 times has had on your recollection?
I'm not sure.
Are you able to tell what you recall from that night versus what you recall from having watched that video 10 times?
Yes.
And you can distinguish those two things here for us.
Yes.
Thank you.
You may exit the witness box. Thank you. Please watch your step.